Aubrey Plaza's older Elliot told the younger Elliot, Maisie Stella, about the future in my old ass, and some of the things she mentioned paint a really dark and confusing picture. Older Elliot's biggest reveals about the future in my old ass mostly concerned Elliot and the people she was close to. As the ending of my old ass revealed, older Elliot's biggest concern was Chad, Percy Hines White, and trying to protect her younger self from the heartbreak of his death. Hidden within those personal details, however, were some concerning hints about what the future holds. Many of older Elliot's reveals about the future were funny predictions for the cast of my old ass or real-world celebrities, like Penelope Disick. Other parts of older Elliot's predictions, however, weren't nearly as fun. The way older Elliot went about revealing those things, however, also made it fairly difficult to piece together what exactly happened in the future of my old ass, or just how bad older Elliot's life really is. Aubrey Plaza's older Elliot says some concerning things about the future in my old ass. Older Elliot's comments make my old ass future seem like a dystopia. Older Elliot, Aubrey Plaza, laying in bed in my old ass. Older Elliot didn't mention much about the state of the world in the future, at least not directly, but the things she did reveal sounded very concerning. Older Elliot revealed that people in the future won't have chemicals in their food anymore, that salmon have gone extinct, that people regularly deal with something that causes sirens to go off, and that there's a limit on how many children a family can have. All of those things paint a fairly dark picture, and it seems like the future of my old ass is something of a dystopia. Some of the things that older Elliot mentioned about the future seem harmless enough. Some of them, like the extinction of salmon, were even played off as jokes. When they're all taken together, however, it seems like something devastated the world in the future of my old ass. Limiting how many children people are allowed to have, for example, is a drastic policy that would likely only be implemented if the world was in a very bad state. My old ass doesn't expressly say what made the world such a dark place in the future, but it does hint at a very real problem. What happened to the future in my old ass? My old ass future may be devastated by climate change. Based on the things older Elliot let slip about the state of the world, there seems to be one likely explanation for why the future is a dystopia. Some of the things older Elliot mentioned hint that the future will be devastated by climate change in my old ass. For instance, salmon could easily have gone extinct because of rising temperatures, as they primarily live in cold water. Climate change would also explain why older Elliot wasn't fazed by the sirens, as global warming makes natural disasters like wildfires or hurricanes more frequent and intense, via Environmental Defense Fund. The other things in the future, the lack of chemicals in food and the limit to how many children a person can have, can also be explained by climate change. If the world in my old ass future is significantly warmer than it is now, higher temperatures would likely cause droughts and famine. Droughts and famine would lead to a food shortage, and the government of the future may have implemented a limit on family sizes to combat it. As for the chemicals, it's possible that the future's resources will be dedicated to growing organic food to combat the food shortage, rather than manufactured foods. The future of my old ass being a dystopia makes its emotional message even better. My old ass future proves that there's no time like the present. Elliot, Maisie Stella, and Chad, Percy Hines White, in my old ass. My old ass bleak outlook on the future of the world is sad, but it actually makes the events in the present of the film more emotional too. Even though older Elliot is living in what can only be described as a dystopia, her biggest regret in life is still losing out on her young love with Chad. Older Elliot could have warned her younger self about the state of the world and urged her to advocate for change or better prepare for climate change, but she saw the heartbreak of losing Chad as worse. The sorry state of the future also explains why older Elliot was so interested in helping young Elliot learn to appreciate her friends and family in the present. Older Elliot obviously had a lot of regrets about Chad, but she also knew that her younger self wouldn't have the future to look forward to if the world was a dystopia in my old ass. She wanted young Elliot to enjoy life as much as possible while she still could, and appreciate the things that she wouldn't have in the future of my old ass, like salmon and food with chemicals in it.